Shalom Aleichem, welcoming the angels on page 6.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem Leshalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruchuni Leshalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, קדוש, הקדוש ברוך הוא, הקדוש ברוך הוא, הקדוש ברוך הוא, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 10 for L'chu Naranana.
לכו נרננה, יין עלי די די לאדוני, יין עלי די די נהריה, יין עלי די גדול על כל אלוהים אשר בידו. יין די 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 מחגרי ארץ, יין די 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 ויבשת ידיו יצרו. בואו נשתחווה ונכרע ימרחה לפני אדוני עושנו, כי הוא אלוהינו. יין די 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 ואנחנו אמר איתו. בקולו תשמעו, ניי 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 ניי, אל תקשו לבבכם, כי מריבה כיום מסע במדבר, אשר ניסוני אבותיכם, בחנוני גם ראו פועלי 40 שנה. אקוט בדור ואומר, עם טועה לבבם, ולא ידעו דרכי, אשר נשבעתי באפי, אם יבוא מלוכתי.
on page 20. Please rise.
מזמור לדוד. עבור לאדוני בני אלים, עבור לאדוני כבוד ועוז, עבור לאדוני כבוד שמו, השתחוו לאדוני בהדרת קודש, כל אדוני על המים אל הכבוד, עירים אדוני על המים, על המים רבים, כל אדוני בכוח.
You may be seated. Page 22, near the bottom of the page, Yachid Ge'eh.
יחיד גאה לעמך פנה זוכרי
Before we settled into a meditation, could people please take bags off seats next to them so there's enough room for people to sit? Thank you. So, Chag Sameach, Shabbat Shalom. It's a double header this Shabbat, right? The holiday of Revelation and the deep rest of Shabbat. And also just a reminder before, again, we move into the silence of meditation, please turn off your phones. We've had some very loud services recently with cell phones ringing and dinging. Thank you. So this Shavuot, I think a lot about the ancient Midrash, the ancient legend, which tells us that the first letter of Revelation is the Aleph of Anochi. And before the Israelites even heard the sound of God's voice, what they heard was this divine silence, the silence of the Aleph. So I invite you for a moment to close your eyes, put yourself at Sinai if you would, and listen to that silent Aleph. And we'll be silent for about a minute. Maybe what the Israelites heard at Sinai was a dog barking. We continue with the Lecha Dodi on page 26.
Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה או לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה או לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה או לך שבת נקבלה שבת תחילה, הולך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה, הולך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. מקדש מלך, עיר מלוכה, קום נצאי מתוך ההפכה, רב לך שבט בעמק הבכה, והוא יחמור עלייך חמלה, הולך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה, הולך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. התנערי מעפר קומי, לבשי בגדי תפארתך עמי, על יד בן ישי בית הלחמי, כובע אל נפשי, נפשי גאלה, הולך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה, הולך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה, הולך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה, הולך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת
You may be seated. Page 30 for the healing prayer, Anna Elna, middle of the page. בהרות לה נועם סביבה אז תתחזק ותתרפא והייתה לך שמחת עולם אל נא רפאה לה בהרות לה נועם סביבה אז תתחזק ותתרפא והייתה לך שמחת עולם אז תתחזק ותתרפא והייתה לה שמחת עולם אלה לפנה לה בהרות לה נועם סביבה אז תתחזק ותתרפא והייתה לה שמחת עולם. Welcome everybody. Again, Shabbat Shalom, Chag Sameach, or I should say the opposite, Chag Sameach, and we're moving into Shabbat. Since it's Memorial Day weekend and we're kind of a small crowd, I thought we could do something fun that we do on occasion. If you could take 3 minutes and say hello to somebody you've never met before. I know it's a challenge. You could actually get out of your seats and go over to somebody if you want to.
Struggling to put it back on your foot. That was great. Enjoying yourself here.
Okay, let's get ourselves back together. I didn't think you would take me that seriously. Okay, could you go around with the microphone if there are new people? Or should I ask Noah to do that?
I don't mind doing it.
Okay. I feel like we're more of a community now. That's excellent. And now we'd like to take a few minutes to welcome new people into the room. Or if you haven't been here in a while and you feel like saying hello, now is the time. New people. Welcome. Do you want to
Welcome.
introduce yourselves and tell us where you're from? Oh, microphone.
Here.
This way the people in the Zoomagog can hear you. Welcome to people in the Zoomagog too.
Hi, I'm really glad to be here. My name is Robin. This is my son Camilo. We've been in the neighborhood a long time, but we haven't really been participating in Jewish life. And so this is our first foray. And we're really glad to be here and share this beautiful music. Thank you.
Well, welcome. Welcome, Robin and Camilo. Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Hi everyone, my name is Leah and this is Sammy and we're actually visiting from Los Angeles.
Nice.
We're here for the week and I've always wanted to come to Romemu, so this is like a dream come true and we're loving it so far, so thank you.
Great to have you. Welcome.
Oh, you could pass it back there.
Hey everyone, my name is Sam. I'm from DC. Recently moved to Queens, looking for like a place to express my Jewishness, and so heard about Romemu, just like heard about the Ruach here. Really excited to be participating. So nice to be here with you all. Thank you. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. So good to have you.
Oh, there you go.
My name is Jordy. I'm actually a rabbi in Greenwich, Connecticut, but we are closed tonight for Memorial Day weekend, so I get to come
That's
to
the way to
Romemu.
do it, right?
So I'm so excited to be here, and then I get to have Shabbat lunch with my friends. Shabbat dinner with my friends on the Upper West Side. So yeah.
Nice. Welcome. Enjoy your Shabbat off. She says jealously.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Chag Sameach. My name is Lee, and I'm from Atlanta. And I came here before COVID, thanks to Debbie Gray Bloom, who I'm sure you know. And thank you all for being so active during COVID, because it was really a lifesaver. And my brother and sister-in-law got on from Vermont also, so we all listen. And it's wonderful to be here. Thank you very much.
Welcome, welcome.
Nice to be in person.
Hi everyone, good Shabbos. My name is Kennedy. I'm here from Elmhurst, Queens. I've done the Zoom synagogue a few times and I thought I would come in person and I'm really happy to be here.
Oh, good. I'm curious how different it feels.
It's great to be here in person.
Great. That's the right answer.
Over there. There you go.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having us. My name is Josephine,
And I'm Freddie.
and we're here from Brooklyn, first time. So
Brooklyn!
Oh, my father's been telling me to come to Romemu for a while because we don't have a Jewish home in New York, and so we're happy to be here. Thank you.
Nice. Welcome.
Shabbat shalom.
Welcome. Shabbat shalom.
Welcome.
Okay.
Wait, we have one there.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Peter. I'm a student at Union Theological Seminary, friends with Jonathan. Thank you for
Nice.
giving me the mic. Happy to be here. Second time coming, so thank you.
Welcome, Peter.
Thank you.
Welcome. All right. Anybody else?
Oh, they're just waving to
Where?
Daniel. Got it. Okay, we are moving into the call to communal prayer, the Baruch Hu, which is on page 32. Please rise. May be seated for the blessings before the Shema. We're on page 34.
שבדבר אמר יבא רבי נחום רבי נחת שערים, משנה איתי, מחליפה את הזמנים וסדרת כוכבים. מעביר היום מביא הלילה, דילה וליום ולילה רצות שמה. אלה חיה וקיימת, תמיד תמלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוכה שכינה המעריבה הרמים ונינון אליי ניי 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 יונו ניי 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 יננה ניי 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 ניי
Page 36 for the love song.
ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך. היין שמוע תשמעו מצוותיי. Page 43, ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל, ואמרת עליהם, ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם, ונתנו על ציצית הכנף פתיל תכלת, והיה לכם לציצית, וראיתם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני, ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם, ואחרי עיניכם, אשר אתם זונים אחריהם, למען תזכרו, ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם.
Page 46.
הכל סוד וקיים עלינו, כי הוא אדוני אלוהינו ואין זולתו, ואנחנו ישראל עמו. ותנו מיד מלאכים הגולם מיד בנו, הראל הנפרע לנו מצווה מלאכים, המכה בעברתו כל בכלל מצרים יוציא את הארץ. ראו בנים גבורתו שיבחו, ועודו נשמעו מלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם. משה ומרים ובני ישראל לכנו שירה, בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, באלים אדוני, מי כמוך, מי כמוך, נדר בקודש, נדר בקודש, נורא, תהילות. Na na שנאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Hashkivenu on page 49.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים. ותקננו בעצה טובה מלפניך והושיענו למען שמך והגן בעדינו ואסר מעלינו את דבר וחרב ורעה ויגון ואסר שטן מלפנינו מאחרינו ובצל כנפיך תסתירנו כי אל שומרנו הצילנו אתה כי אל מלך חנון ורחום אתה ושמו צאתנו בואנו לחיים שלום מעתה ועד עולם. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך. השכיבנו אדוני השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים. ברוך אתה אדוני הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ועל ירושלים.
Please stand for Vishamru on page 52.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת דוזם פרי תורה וביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את
גדל והתקדש שמי רבה בעלמא דיברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביום נכון וחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן יהי שמי רבה לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך אוי 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 יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה נחמתה תמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן.
The silent Amidah is on page 56, and please insert Yaleh v'Yavo, which is on page 60 for the Chag.
It's on page 90. It's on page 90 because it's the festival.
Right. Sorry, page 90. Festival Amidah.
sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, and with thanksgiving I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Oh, say shalom, bimroma, uyase, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Israel, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel.
When I was a young adult, I would have a dream again and again. And in that dream, my father would die, and I would try to give a eulogy at his funeral, and someone would stop me. Now, there were good reasons why I had these dreams, not only subconscious or unconscious ones, but real ones in life. One is, my father always expected disaster. He was talking about mortality every day since the age of 40 years old. He didn't die till he was 78. Second of all, I grew up in a traditional community of Syrian Jews, and they did not allow women to speak at funerals. But I, an only child, devoted to my father, was committed to eulogizing him. Nothing, I decided, would stop me. And so, in 2005, when sadly my father passed, after a brief illness of about a month, we were planning the funeral, and it would be at a Syrian synagogue, and we invited one of the more liberal, I mean, no one in this room would consider this rabbi liberal, but in that community, he was considered liberal, right? One of the more liberal rabbis to lead his funeral. And this liberal rabbi, who I will not name at the moment, told me I could speak. And I was surprised and grateful. So when the day happened, it happened to be pouring out. Were you there, Lisa? No, you're in Israel. And my husband gave the first eulogy, and he introduced me, and he said, now my wife, Hyman Esses's only child, will give the second eulogy. And the rabbi of the synagogue, who was not the rabbi leading the funeral, got up, went up to the front of the room and said, no lady will speak in my synagogue. So I started wailing, like wailing probably louder than I've ever wailed in my life, saying, but he's my father, he's my father. The whole congregation was still. The rabbi of the synagogue went to the door in the corner of the room, opened it, and said, and pointed outside, and he said, here, you can talk from here. So I stood up, and I went outside, and my 85-year-old Moroccan grandmother, who didn't know a word of English, followed me, and so did some cousins and one of my best friends, and they held an umbrella over my head, and I spoke. Now, half the people there were delighted that I was speaking, and the other half thought it was absolutely outrageous. I was not allowed to truly enter the congregation on that day. I did not really belong. I was literally kept outside of the room of people who came to mourn, of all the people who came to mourn and honor my father. Every Shavuot, we read a book called Ruth, one of my favorite books in the Torah, in the Tanakh, about a remarkable woman named Ruth. And she is a Moabite. And what's remarkable about her is that being a Moabite, we're told in Deuteronomy that no Moabite or Ammonite shall enter the congregation of God. So it says in Deuteronomy 23:4, Lo yavo Ammoni u'Moavi b'kal Adonai. As I said, no Ammonite or Moabite shall be admitted into the congregation of the Lord. Gam dor asiri. None of their descendants, even unto the 10th generation, lo yavo lahem, shall ever be admitted into the congregation of the Lord. B'kal Adonai ad olam. And why? This is pretty severe, right? So why? So the Torah continues, on account that they did not greet you with food and with water on the way at your going out from Egypt. And because they hired against you Bil'am, who was a sort of a non-Israelite prophet at large, son of Beor, from Petor and Aram of the two rivers, to curse you. So given this Torahitic law, it's remarkable that the character of Ruth becomes the great-grandmother of King David, and thus the foremother of the Messianic, the redemptive line. It's from her that redemption is said to ultimately emerge. How does she do this? How does the ultimate outsider become one of the most important characters in the entire biblical corpus? Well, what she does is she undoes history. She does a tikkun on the past, a repair of history, and does the very opposite of what the Moabites did. Listen to her story. It begins with Naomi. Actually, it begins with Naomi's husband, Elimelech. Elimelech, during a famine, takes his wife, Naomi, and his two sons, Machlon and Chilion. And I'll never forget my Bible professor at the Jewish Theological Seminary told me that we should translate those names as Siki and Dedi. Machlon, Machala, and Chilion, right? Someone who's over. So Elimelech takes his family, and during a famine, and they settle in Moab. So given the portrait of Moab in the Bible, that's the last place they're supposed to go to. And in quick succession, all the men die. Elimelech dies, Machlon, in like half a verse, Machlon and Chilion die, but they had married Moabite women, Ruth and Orpah, and they had settled in Moab. They had lived there 10 years without having children, so it's another barrenness story. And so suddenly, Naomi, Ruth, and Orpah are left alone, right? Naomi, a grieving, childless woman. And she hears that in her hometown, Bethlehem, or Bethlehem, which literally means the house of bread, that God had visited her people to give them food. So it's like, okay, I'm going back home. And Ruth and Orpah want to go with her. And she says, no, I have nothing for you. I have no sons. I have no more sons to give you. I have nothing for you. Go back to your family's homes. You can't come with me. And they insist and they cry. And she says, no. And Orpah goes home. And what does Ruth do? Virut davkaba. And Ruth attached herself to Naomi. She made herself sticky, right? Naomi literally stopped speaking to her, and Ruth went. So they went on this journey, and they arrived in Bethlehem. And no one recognized Naomi because she was so grief-stricken and bitter. And she said to the townspeople, when they said, could this be Naomi? She said, don't call me Naomi anymore. My name is Mara. I am the bitter one. So what Ruth did is the very opposite of what her ancestors, the Moabites, did to Naomi's ancestors, right, the Israelites. Instead of abandoning an Israelite in the land of Moab, as she is making her way back to her homeland, she accompanies her, connects to her, cares for her. Consider her famous speech. Ruth told her, do not urge me to abandon you, to turn back and not follow you. For wherever you go, I will go. Wherever you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God, my God. V'tomer Ruth al titka'i bi. לעזבך לשוב מאחרייך, כי אל אשר תלכי אלך, ובאשר תליני אלין. עמך עמי, ואלוהיך אלוהי. באשר תמותי אמות, ושם אקבר, כה יעשה אדוני לי, וכה יוסיף, כי המוות יפריד ביני ובינך. Ruth throws her lot in with Naomi's, and eventually she also procures food for her. She nurtures Naomi on every level. Her ancestors in Moab were basically saying to the Israelites, we don't recognize you in your hour of need, and we will not help you. You will remain forever outside of our circle of concern. In turn, the Torah says, these people remain outsiders forever. They will stand outside the congregation of God. So back to my story. I was excluded from my home congregation, but unlike Ruth, I did not become someone at the center of the community I was excluded from. I decided to defy my community's expectations and became the worst thing possible, a liberal rabbi. Way too far afield of their comfort zone. They had no idea how to connect to me, how to make sense of me. For them, it was as if I had switched genders. It's impossible for me to truly belong in the community I come from. Nevertheless, I still think some repair of history, of family lineage, of Jewish lineage is possible. I remain interested in what it means to repair history, to do the opposite so that healing can occur, as Ruth did. So what might it mean to do the opposite? This year, Romemu had the privilege to celebrate 12 adult bar mitzvahs. 12 people who either didn't have a bar mitzvah, bat or bar mitzvah, or had a meaningless bar or bat mitzvah, and decided to study for a year and a half and come up to the Torah, chant and speak and lead prayers. I mean, it was an inspiring sight to behold. Recently we had 3 of these ceremonies in succession, right? So this past week, so they're finally over. We have 4 altogether this year. And I know some people in this room have done them in the past, right? In previous cohorts. And as we were doing post-game analysis, someone in the cohort, Paul Ullman, said, doing an adult bar mitzvah is the opposite of trauma. I was like, well, what do you mean? He said, well, I've been reading The Body Keeps the Score. You know that book by Bessel van der Kolk, right? And trauma is something that imprints itself on our mind and body in a way that can't be processed, can't be digested. And so it keeps repeating itself in an effort to kind of work itself through. And also there's no language, like that person who's been through that horrifying experience or a series of experiences can't speak the language of what happened to them. And it's also it's an experience that leaves one disconnected and lonely. So bar mitzvah is like a powerful, like every person in the cohort felt sort of so present and so joyous and so connected that they felt, and when Paul said this, it resonated for many of the people in the cohort, like this is the opposite of trauma, right? Sort of really taking Torah and owning it and saying, I belong to this community. I belong to a community. I belong to a people. This is one of the reasons I decided to become a rabbi. Having radically not fit into my community, I thought somehow that taking Judaism and owning it and becoming a rabbi would really kind of heal that disconnect. But what I realized is that Judaism doesn't give meaning magically. You really have to sort of actively own it and put yourself in it and say, like, I belong, right? It doesn't happen by itself. It did happen for every single person in that bar mitzvah cohort. What Ruth shows us is that through this principle, through this practice of dveikut, of attaching oneself day in, day out to relationships, to community, to people, of connecting beyond ourselves, that's the way to repair history. That's the way to repair the wounds and disconnects of the past. By stepping in rather than expecting others to show us we belong, rather than waiting for others to allow us to enter, to give us permission. Instead, we dare enter the congregation, step in and take hold, attach ourselves to something greater than we are. We cast our fate with a people's destiny. This is the shining example of Ruth. This is the luminous model offered by the 12 people who came before this community and took hold of Torah and dared to say that they belong, that they are at the center. As it turns out, Ruth, the story of Ruth, becomes the model of conversion later on for the rabbis in the Talmud. She actually becomes the model to other people who, like, sort of as if saying, like, you think you don't belong here, but you also can belong here, right? So again, it's the opposite of what happened with the Moabites, right? The opposite of exclusion, it's inclusion. As for me, I realized after my father's funeral that the place the rabbi placed me was a place where the Kohanim, the priests, stand during a funeral when they can't enter. So that made me think maybe what he did that day was more of a sign of inclusion than either he or I realized. Shabbat Shalom. We're going to Vahashevota, page 78.
Vahashevota
Mourner's Kaddish on page 116. If you are saying Kaddish for someone, we invite you to say their names aloud. All those for whom the custom is to stand with the mourners, you are now invited to stand as well. Yikadav Yikadash Shmei Rabbah. בעלמא דברה חירותי, וימליך מלכותי, בחיי חון ויום איכון, בחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבא מבורך לעולם לעולמי עלמיה.
יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תאמירן ביומה ויאמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבא מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו
Amen. You may be seated. Just a few announcements. Next Shabbat is Pride Shabbat at Romemu. Join Romemu Manhattan to mark Pride Shabbat in community at Kabbalat Shabbat and Shabbat morning services. The Social Action Committee is calling on all of us to take action to help pass the Treatment Not Jail Bill and the Child Abuse Reporting Expansion CARE Act. Check out upcoming advocacy-related events on the Social Action Committee's page of our website. You can also reach out to Tal Siegel or Aya Roth to learn more about how you can help. The Celebrate Israel Parade is Sunday, June 4th. We'll be marching with the Upper West Side Coalition at this year's parade. We'll meet at 1 p.m. at 52nd between 5th and Madison. Sorry, Sunday, June 4th. Look for Romemu member Ed Mallon when you arrive. Membership drive. We are reaching the official end of our annual membership drive with the arrival of Shavuot, but it is never too late to join or renew. And there are membership pathways to match every household and financial situation. So if you think you can't afford to join, you can. To learn more, please write romemu.org. Membership at romemu.org. On June 9th, Rabbi Zach Fredman and members of the Epicurus return, and there is a dinner afterwards. And finally, join us tomorrow for Open Book, which is our Parsha class at 8:45, and services begin at 10 a.m. And some thank yous. Greg, AV, thank you, Greg. Operations, Victor, Blanca, Lenore, Freddie. Security, Joe. Staff, Noah. Greeters, do we have any greeters? No, you're Noah. Noah again. Prayer leaders, our amazing prayer leaders. Noah Solomon. Shimon Smith, Judah Goldman, and Maddox Pearson. And finally, there in Zoom land, moderator is Danny.
And Rabbi Diane Kohler asks.
Thank you. Okay, Kiddush? Kiddush is on page 88.
Let's rise. יום השישי ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבא ויכל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה וישבות ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. סברי חבריי וחברותיי, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר תשענו במצוותיו ורצה בנו בשבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו זיכרון למעשה וראשית כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, והודענו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תבל, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואימו Shabbat shalom, Shabbos. Shalom.